Hey, welcome to a garage talk in the backyard of the Columbine Cafe on Old Golden Road. I have Charlie Myers and Nathalie Brochu here from Jeffco and Team Evergreen, and we came here for the fish fry that's on Fridays, but we got here 2 days early, so we're just gonna make the best of this video. But not really.
A little more beer.
A little more beer. We're drinking, just FYI. So this is Herman Joseph's beer. It was my dad's beer back in the 70s. And there's a very limited Coors product. So this bar has it on tap, so come check it out. It's really rare to find.
Never had it before. Great color.
Right?
I love it.
It's like the original Fat Tire. So I hear. No, seriously, this was a Coors bar, and people would come here from after work in Old Golden Road, and Camp George West is across the street, and Chris, the owner, has talked about how he saw somebody hop the fence and try to escape, and he tracked him down. So he's like a fourth generation owner of this place. So
Amazing.
A little plug for them for letting us be here. They have Thursday nights bluegrass every week. He said they've been getting 150 to 200 people.
Amazing.
And it's $15. You get burger, a beer, and bluegrass. And then on Fridays they have a fish fry. So come check that out. But today I just wanted to get to know you better, Charlie. We've worked together for a long time, and Natalie's a friend of mine who is a little bit new into this community, and she just joined the Team Evergreen board, and I thought, gosh, this would be kind of a fun discussion, because we do a lot of work with Team Evergreen over the years with Jeffco, and it would be kind of fun to just chat about what's going on in Jefferson County, but also get to know both of you better. And Charlie, so how we've been working together. I think I was on Jeffco before you arrived, right?
Yeah, you were there before me. You're a real veteran, which we appreciate that institutional, historical knowledge, all that.
Right.
But I remember you being on one of our ride reviews, one of our first ride reviews.
Yep.
Which became pretty important in the various events in the club, or kind of what we do. So yeah, that was like 2015 or something.
So how did you get involved with Jeffco?
Let's see, it was, I remember going to a Wheat Ridge Cyclery event with Bike Jeffco, and Dave Evans was speaking, and then after he talked about their mission and what they do around Jefferson County, I just went up to him, and you remember Dave, what an incredible recruiter. All of a sudden I was involved. He was very infectious with his recruitment skills, and he really would pull you in, and I was going to every meeting right after meeting.
Were you new to town then?
Pretty new. I was in New Orleans for 28 years. My wife brought us here, which I'm not sad about at all. I traded in the swamps for the mountains, and never looked back exactly. So yeah, I was pretty new. Came in 2008, but I guess that was 2010 or 11, maybe at Wheat Ridge.
2010.
Something like
So
that.
you were in New Orleans, or in Louisiana. But that's not, are you from Louisiana?
I'm from Chicago originally,
So
but went down there to go to school, Tulane.
okay.
The first week I was there, I got into a bike riding organization, Crescent City Cyclists, and they were a great group. A lot of riding across Lake Pontchartrain on the other side, and did that for as long as I was there, and that was my introduction into being in a board and ride chairman and that sort of thing. LAB liaison. So
how would you describe your love of biking, and what was sort of, were you pretty serious about road riding? Were you more of a commuter type rider?
I was a road rider, not my introduction into racing was very short-lived, and so I became more of a touring kind of cyclist, and set up tours, and set up rides with the Crescent City Cyclists and that sort of thing. So it was more the joy of exploration and finding new places to ride, that sort of thing, and riding with a group. Kind of like Team Evergreen, I really enjoyed, that group camaraderie and that sort of thing.
So in some ways, Nathalie, it's kind of a similar story. You're kind of newish to Denver and recently moved to the western part of the city, a little bit like Charlie maybe, and just became familiar with Team Evergreen. And talk about your journey in cycling a little bit.
Yes, so I'm from Canada originally, went to college in Vermont, so was always outdoorsy, a skier, had a mountain bike back in those days. But then I lived in New York City for 20 years, so no room for mountain bikes in New York City. So basically the first thing I did when I got out here is I got a mountain bike and started doing a lot of mountain biking. I love road trips, so I've been all over the state just playing in the mountains. And ended up getting a road bike probably 3-4 years ago, but never really got into it. So I had done Tour of the Moon, which was kind of fun, but I hate traffic, I hate cars, so it took me a long time to sort of get used to road riding. But then with COVID, I thought the trails were so busy, mountain biking became a little bit tougher, so I started road riding more because back then nobody's driving anywhere, so the roads were actually kind of quiet.
Right.
And I started riding a lot. Bill and I rode a good amount last summer, and I got in better shape and decided to maybe try for the triple. So as I signed up for the triple, I signed up for Team Evergreen, and then when I got on their email distribution list, they were looking for board members, and I've been looking to get more involved in the community, so the dots all kind of got connected that way, and here I am. I'm just getting to meet the board members, and it's a great organization, and so far I've really enjoyed the people I've met, and I'm looking forward to starting to really ride with them as I'm stepping up my training for this triple bypass event.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect, and we can get back to some of that and talk about the community involvement. So Charlie, you took over Bike Jeffco, what, 4 years ago now?
It's going on 4.
Almost 4?
Pretty much right after Dave Evans died, unexpected and very surprising. And that was December 2017.
So talk about that transition, because I was involved then, and all of a sudden Dave just crazy passed away.
Yeah.
And his computer was locked, like no email list, how did you get your hands around Bike Jeffco? What were some of the things you really had to focus on?
It was a hard time because we really didn't have access to the list, and so it was almost like we were starting from scratch.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of help, and that's as we get a lot of help on so many things. And I have to mention the Cobras. Larry Potter came to our aid.
Yep.
With giving us some ideas on how we could expand with our website or improve our website and start putting together a new list. And so he helped with that. Also, we got into using mail service, MailChimp, and all of a sudden things started to expand.
I mean, Dave had a big image, or big vision of Bike Jeffco, and he started the organization and carried it for a long time. How was your mentality of taking over?
Well, fear-based.
Fear-based.
Well, I mean, it was daunting because he had so many involvements with different relationships with government, public works, different advocacy organizations. Many that the board really didn't know all the complexity of his connections to all these groups. So it was like, oh my God, how are we going to maintain those and get involved with all of them? But slowly they started to present themselves.
Yeah.
So it was helpful. And there was some history left with files and whatnot, and I was able to go through and see what was going on. The other thing too, the board itself, everybody was so helpful. And I could go through the list of names: Jan, Mike, Steve, and Dick, Kelly, who's been quite a member of Team Evergreen as well. So we got lots of help, but it was sort of a slow process and kind of daunting at times.
It feels like you've made it your own now, though.
Well,
you've kind of brought it into a pattern that is identifiable to your work.
Well,
do you feel that way?
Thanks for saying that. I would hope so. I would hope that I've kept. I would hope that Dave Evans is smiling.
The spirit is alive, for sure.
Yeah, I would hope that he'd be good with what's going on, and I think he would be. So, but yeah, I think we're feeling like Bike Jeffco is starting to evolve, maybe progress into something else now.
What would you say that is?
Well, I think it's maintaining this strong connection to all sorts of different groups, and maybe even where some of those connections are actually about working some projects. I mean, working together on various projects, and so I think relationship is the big one, and I think maybe we're a little more connected with Bicycle Colorado. We're getting a lot of technical assistance from them, and also we're doing, I think, a lot. We did before, but I think we're doing a lot with transportation and engineering of Jefferson County. So Yelena Onan and Christina Lang, they're really, we're very close with our activities with them.
I mean, you definitely seem to be all over the place with different projects. What are some of the real major, I guess, what's the biggest thing on the agenda right now? Biggest things, there's probably more than one.
Right now, we're looking at a special meeting called the Cycling Vision Zero workshop, and pursuant to the tragedies that have occurred over the last month with Gwen Inglis, but before that, and actually I was seeing you all over the place, and sadly it was often at memorial services and like Alexis Clown, saw you there. So all those have added up, and we want to now have this special meeting and make a difference. So, and what's that going to be? So I think it's going to be more discussion and less presentations, but that's next Tuesday.
So Nathalie is someone that's kind of new in Jefferson County and into cycling now with Team Evergreen. What would you love to know about Bike Jeffco, or what do you feel is something that is interesting or not known about that you are curious?
Well, actually, I really don't know anything about Bike Jeffco.
Well, that's easy.
So, what's your main, mission and focus? And even, I'm new to Team Evergreen. You guys probably know more about that group than I do. So, how did you work with us in the past, and how can we improve the relationship too?
Sure. Well, that's nice to end with that one too. Let's do more. But yeah, we've done a lot over the last few years too, and you've been Team Evergreen's been very helpful to Bike Jeffco in terms of contribution that was very significant. So we've gotten together on, we do the sweeping of, in the past there have been tax.
Squaw Pass?
On Squaw Pass. And so Mike Raber's been a real leader on putting an industrial strength magnet on his bumper. You got to see it. We get out there at like 2 a.m. and we do sweeping's a bit of a misnomer. We do a magnetic
vacuum
sweep.
You vacuum up tax with your magnet.
And fortunately, last time, year before last, we didn't really find any.
Okay, good.
But we went through all that. There's a video of it. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
But so we did get together on that. We've gotten together on some other, the Portalet in Deer Creek Canyon. That was quite a project for some years, and so we worked with Jen on that. But mission is, we hope to be the voice for cyclists in Jefferson County, both road and, of course, mountain bikers have really their own organizations. But
talk about gravel though a little bit, because that's kind of this weird middle ground, right?
It is.
And there's a lot of gravel riding in Jefferson County.
And more people are taking to it.
So do you feel like that's going to come under Bike Jeffco?
We've had an article about it in one of our newsletters, and I do think, I think we're really interested in it.
Yeah.
And gravel can also be transportation. It's recreation, and maybe it's another way to get from point A to point B as well.
Right.
So we're very much interested in it. So, we're into promoting bicycling both as recreation and transportation. So,
What do you love the most about it?
in terms of
Well, being in the head of the
oh,
like you go to a party with your wife who's maybe I don't even know exactly what she does, but let's say that she
Yeah.
does something completely different.
pretty much.
And and she says, "This is my husband Charlie," and that person says, "Oh, nice to meet you, Charlie. What do you do?" And you say, "Well, I'm a chair of bike Jeffco." What makes you happiest when you say that?
When they say, oh, well, they're aware of maybe something we've done that has helped them. Like, some of our little victories are small, others are more significant, like the Genesee to El Rancho bikeway is a big one.
That's a big one.
And Dave Evans, along with Dave Christie, had a whole lot to do with that. But, the small victories are good too, like making sure there's signage that is appropriate for cyclists out there. So I guess if someone is aware of that, of course, no good deed goes unpunished. You were letting us know about some cyclist, or maybe more than one, that was annoyed that we weren't maintaining.
Well, there's a rumor that Bike Jeffco was supposed to maintain that bike path, and I'm like, I don't think so, but
I don't think so either.
I'm like, I don't think we're getting up there sweeping and stuff, but
we do.
it kind of falls through the cracks a little bit.
It literally, it does, and it's too bad. It really comes in under CDOT, but they're, can't really maintain everything, and sometimes there's not the right equipment to do that, especially during the winter, to plow that. But we do try to get out there, and actually, year before last, we did it with Team Evergreen, and they did a clean sweep, and we joined them on that, but they organized it, so kudos to Team Evergreen on that. And we look to get together with them again on that. But yeah, it's funny, maybe we were seen out there sweeping, or with Mike Raber's,
His
machine.
His Inspector Gadget tack picker-upper.
And someone's that, or the blower.
Oh, he has the blower, right?
And someone may have seen us out there with equipment and said, well, they're responsible. So
we really screwed up. We should have done this interview in Mike's garage.
There you go.
There has to be. I mean, his bike has like 14 cameras on it and tape and all kinds of stuff.
Well, maybe another interview.
Well, let's talk about your style, though, because I know that, there's a lot of work that people don't know about. You go to the Capitol, you talk to legislators. Mike's really, that's one thing he loves doing.
Mike's real good at that.
But there's a lot of lobbying that goes on. There's a lot of working with Dr. Cog. There's a lot of... Talk about... Because Dave Evans, to me, was sort of that Columbo style.
Yeah.
Like, he'd walk away. Oh, wait. Just one more question. And then he'd come, wait, one more. And he'd do it so nice. And you're kind of that way, too, I guess.
Well,
but how what's your approach to that?
Well, I don't have all the skills that Dave had. First of all, he had that incredible accent.
Yeah, British people can do anything.
And he could get away with all sorts of things where I'm not so sure. Confrontational stuff, I can't.
It just sounds better in British language accent, doesn't
I
it?
can't do the confrontation.
Nathalie, you have a French accent. that could serve you well for the team.
That's
Evergreen.
right.
Maybe I'll try to use that to my advantage.
Go to the Capitol with it, definitely. But there's a lot of opportunities to figure that out. Figure out what your style is, what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
But because actually, there are a lot of opportunities to work with both municipalities, the commission, or Jefferson County Commission, and then more into the weeds, so to speak, with public works, where you're getting into more engineering and that sort of thing. So it's challenging on all sorts of fronts, but finally, after some time, one can find some comfort in knowing, we've addressed that before, or this sounds familiar.
Well, I know for myself, with 303, we have lots of different things to kind of keep track of. We have different kinds of cycling, we have different kinds of stories. And same with you, though, really. You have, Jefferson County is complicated. You have cities, you got you got unincorporated, you got sheriff's departments, you've got the traffic, you've got, you know, the cities of Golden and Arvada, Lakewood doing their own things.
Yeah.
How do you sort of, where do you find the best area for you to be effective?
Well, we lean on people that know more than we do, or that are in there.
Right?
Well, like Gary Hardy. Gary Hardy knows Lakewood
Right.
backwards and forwards, and so, in fact, we've had a number of meetings where it's Lakewood night, and we just sort of let Gary, you know, direct it.
Right.
And so, I think that's been a lot of it. We don't have to be in control of everything, and we can get our P's and Q's from those that know more than we know.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. You got Lakewood, which Gary has a real good handle on. You got
Yeah.
Evergreen. You've got Arvada. You've got Golden itself. You've got
and Golden, J.J. Trout, and she's been real helpful.
Edgewater, even a little
Edgewater,
broader.
John Beltran.
Who's in Arvada?
We did have a bicycle coordinator who we worked with. Well, now Adam
Oh,
Lynn. He's been good. I think great potential there.
yeah,
So I think we need to work more with Arvada now.
yeah.
We kind of dropped off, whereas that would be a good time to get back in with Arvada. We're doing a fair amount too.
Talk about COVID a little bit, because in my estimation, we used to have a meeting the second Tuesday of that month.
That's right.
In person at Jefferson County at the Taj Mahal, and we'd get anywhere between 10 and 20 people typically.
Yeah.
And now we're getting 30 to 40 to 50 people via Zoom.
Correct.
Has it almost been a blessing?
Yeah, in a way, this format and using Zoom has actually allowed us to do more.
Yeah.
Reach more people, and it just seems people seem to like it better.
Yeah.
And so there was some talk just recently with the board about do we go back, and I think the position now is maybe a few meetings in person. I think it should be more maybe like out.
I was gonna say, why don't we just do Thursday
Yeah.
nights at the Bluegrass?
Thursday
Meet a half
night.
hour before
Yeah, and
Before the show.
There you go.
How about Nathalie? How can Nathalie help? I mean, and not just Nathalie, but a Nathalie who's
the board.
an enthusiast and who maybe has a lot of eyes out there. But how does she work upstream towards you and give you some good feedback?
Well, I think, we're really interested in Evergreen, that whole area. Of course, you ride Golden, Evergreen, all over. So we would, well, like I was asking your ride chairman, give us ideas on where the hazards are, because maybe we could help with having an inventory of hazards. And you're going to cross them, various rides more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't this taken care of? Why isn't this finally addressed? Maybe we can help with that.
Okay.
That would be one big area.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, we do ride all over that area.
Yeah.
So.
I know you had issues with rolling coal up in that area with some of your riders. Well, finally,
You got some legislation.
we got legislation passed. It's a Class A violation. We have not been able to get from, the powers that be that, deal with the data, but we can't seem to get a handle on how many reports or how many Class A violations of coaling roll have been or how many arrested on that. But it seems like it's dropped, although I just heard yesterday about a coaling roll incident.
Well, I'm going to ask you both the same question. So, when your tenure is up, whatever that is, when you with Team Evergreen, you with Bike Jeffco, what would you hope that might change under your leadership? Or what would you hope the outcomes would be?
Oh, it's a tough question because I'm
Isn't
so
it?
new to all this. But
Gives you.
I really got to love cycling. I have 3 bikes now, and it's like, do I go mountain biking today or gravel riding? So I just hope more people can get out there and ride and not necessarily feel intimidated that they have to race. Like, I'm not a racer, and the triple is kind of my check the box and see if I can do it. But I just love to get out there and ride safely, and meet people who, enjoy what I'm doing. So to the extent that we can, just get more people to join the community, and I think that'd be a great. And Team Evergreen, obviously, we give back a lot to the community as well.
You do?
So the more we can give back and get involved with local charities and help kids, get equipment for riding or ride more, I think that'd be great.
How about you, Charlie?
Well, I would hope we're in a position to be sustainable, and I think we're getting there.
Bike Jeffco itself be sustainable, money-wise, financially, or what?
The whole operation, and money-wise, take care of our insurance, take care of our cost on Zoom and all those sort of things. But beyond that, just our whole operation, that we continue to improve the level of safety in Jefferson County and beyond. Actually, if we can sort of help mentor Douglas County, that is sort of virgin territory, it seems, at this point.
Right. So sort of franchise it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. That would be great. Gary Hardy has talked about how it's hard in voluntary organizations to, keep them going. I mean, it's not, you got to have the board, people that are committed, have the passion, and it's not always that easy to just keep it going. But I think there are ways, and I think we're looking at it.
What do you feel is your strength as a business type person? What is your background?
Well, funny, my background's more social work, trained in social work, or as a social worker, and I ran a public health program, newborn screening. So we screened children.
Oh wow.
For various genetic disorders. So saving lives, it was one of those screenings that really did make a difference. And I guess I wanted to bring that element to Bike Jeffco, or to a bicycle advocacy organization where we really look at saving lives. And, so I'm hoping with this meeting, June 22nd, let's really drill down and figure out how to really improve the level of safety in Jefferson County and beyond. So, and it all becomes an issue of life saving. How do we prevent injuries, that sort of thing.
So that's your passion.
That's my passion, and I hope we can, make some movement towards accomplishing something.
Nice. That's good to know. Social work. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Do you work outside of this?
No. Chore list. My wife's chore list. But,
what you get told to do? You have to meet at places like this and have a beer?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I thank you guys for being here. It's been a good little conversation, and we'd love to share this hopefully with some of the Team Evergreen and some of the Bike Jeffco people, and understand maybe the community aspect of this a little bit more, and know we're sitting in the middle of Jefferson County.
That's right.
I really think we need to have a meeting here.
We should.
Right?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Great idea.
Maybe I can bring Team Evergreen over.
Right?
I think that would
Right?
be great too. Let's drink together.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.